All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode. This is going to be episodes number 3 and 4. I recorded number 3 and got all the way done and realized that, hey, there is no audio. So you didn't get any of my dulcet tones on episode 3. And, there was a lot of talking. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a recap of what we did in episode 3. So as you can see here, this field is harvested. I'll get to that. So let's go into the construction menu real quick, and we'll give you an update on what's happening. So in episode 3, first off, we ended up buying field 65. Okay. We also put in 2 more productions. We put in, 3 more productions actually. So let's go to the construction view, and we'll get into that right now. So we put in 2 more greenhouses. All right, these are different. These are the oil and taproot greenhouses, as opposed to the grain and carif, whatever that word is, greenhouses. And what they do is that the oil and taproots produce canola, carrots, parsnips, that kind of stuff. And so what we're producing in there is canola, carrots, parsnip, and sunflowers. And they are going into our another new production, which is the farm factory. And inside the farm factory, we're making preserved food carrots, which will give us carrot preserves and pig food. Pig food is the byproduct of this particular production. As you can see, we take 1,000 carrots and we get 450 preserved food carrots out. And the rest of that 1,000 is just trash, right? In the real world, that is byproducts, stuff that's not good enough to make it into the product. They throw it away. Omatana, the maker of this mod, has decided to turn that into pig food, which is a fine output, right? So this is where we're going to get our pig food for our pigs, which is why we're doing pigs on this map, on this challenge, and not cows or something else to get slurry. So we have this for carrots, parsnips, canola oil up here, which is another thing that we're using the canola for, and that's giving us 100 pig food. And then we have sunflower oil, right? So these things are all working, and we did already sell some stuff off. So that's that for the new productions. And let's go back to the construction view and see that out there. Okay, so that's that. So this is the field. This is where our pigs are going to go. They're going to go right along here on this side here. And then over here is going to be our our manure facility that turns slurry into manure that will then distribute back into these 4 greenhouses. And yeah, so what we did for this field is we leased a harvester, right? So my general overall plan for harvesting is to use swathing, and we're going to use tractor swathing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that mod, but what it does is it allows us to use these tractor swathing. So they're basically swath headers that go on a tractor. This one obviously is probably what we'll start with. It's $40,000, 7.6 meters, and weighs 2.5 tons. Let's keep that in mind. This one is 13.8, which is what I'd prefer on some of our fields, but it's 4.7 tons. So this doesn't really work so great on a medium tractor. It kind of needs a big tractor, a heavy tractor. But we'll see what we can work it out. Anyway, so this is what I'd like. But to do that, we need to separate the swath, and that's going to require, production for swath separating. And the small one, where is that? Let me find it real quick. Not this. Actually, no, it's not. Of course, why would it be in my favorites? All right, scroll down, keep on going. It's a lot. It's a lot of money. So this is like the standard, so 125. So it's $125,000, and this is the compact version. This is the larger version. Frankly, I like to play with this version here. It holds the most. inbound and outbound holds, stores it up. We don't have a silo. That's handy. But as you can see, it's $225,000. So it's an extra 75 grand. And money's an issue. So before we can get into the tractor swathing, we have to buy this. We have to buy the header. And then it takes an extra month effectively to, you harvest, dump it in here, and then it processes it out. It takes about a month to do that. However, swathing, extra 30%. So if we, go back to our field, we only got about 60% off this harvest was our buff. We got about 6,000 liters off of this field, which is, in my opinion, not so great. But speaking of that, because of this, we're going to need to do everything we can to buff up our production, all right, on these fields. So we need to do everything. We need to mulch. We need to roll. We need fertilizer. We need lime, but we don't have that as an option. So what we're going to do is we're going to mulch, and we're going to put next on this field is not going to be soybeans. I think it's going to be sunflowers. We are going to do some crop rotation, and that will get us some stuff, but we can't do a cover crop with our current planter, right? Our current planter only supports planted items. So it does corn, what is this? Sorghum, sunflowers, soybeans, beets, cotton, and green beans, which is fine. However, they do make a, what is it called? Daggerwin. I don't know if you guys watch Daggerwin. He's YouTube does these videos. Been doing it for a long time. He calls this the springy thing, and it's under disc arrows. This one, and it has a seeder unit, and the only thing it can seed is grass and soil and oilseed radish. So we're going to buy this because we're going to need a cultivator to cultivate the oilseed radish. So we'll buy this that will do the cultivation and the planting for us, but we aren't ready for that yet. First, we need a mulcher. So let's grab a mulcher. Usually I like to use this one because it is ridiculous, 50 meters. And we're going to do that. I don't care what you say. I don't want to. Mulching doesn't matter. And it's really just going to save us time. So let's get on the mulching. As you can see on this field, it's pretty much going to be a single pass. So as far as, using these unrealistic things, I understand, there's all the whole philosophy on playing the game. And in my opinion, you play the game however you want to play the game. However, I will tell you in my testing, using these large 50-meter tools in some instances is great. In others, it's really not great, particularly for things like spreading fertilizer and stuff like that. Your fields, you can't maintain a good distribution, particularly with precision farming, when you're using those tools. It's a problem, right? So, but for certain, oh shit, see, we're taking out the crop. This is another reason not using these tools is not awesome. Anyway, but for things like mulching, it doesn't really matter. It's an even distribution along the field, and as long as it's an even distribution, it doesn't matter. So for some things I use them, for others I don't. And this is like the, filling up the Bowser to 50,000 liters. It's just a time savings thing. We aren't really getting anything off it. It's not saving us any money. It's not costing us less. I mean, I guess technically it is from time and diesel and all that kind of stuff. But in the spirit of this particular challenge, I don't think it matters. So we won't be using it for everything that's available. Often I do use the 50 millimeter or the 50 meter harvesting head, but I leave it on its default because it is the largest harvester in the game, and it's 16 meters, or the largest head in the game at 16 meters. So yeah, there's reasons for using things like this. And in this case, it was really just to do it quick. So that was 2 passes. You can't beat that with a stick. Otherwise, we're going to be here all day playing with this, and we ain't got time for that. So, we did the mulching. Now we are going to need to I mean, I would normally cultivate this field and plow, put in lime and fertilize it and all the rest of that stuff, but we aren't doing that. So all we're really doing is we're going to plant the oil seed. And this is really the thing. Now, if we didn't have these other two fields with soybeans in them, then I would just replant soybeans in this field, right? But we have two more fields of soybeans, and we don't need it right now. So I am going to get the cultivator, and we'll grab the springy thing, cultivator, and put the seeder on it, and we'll throw some oilseed radish in here. So at least we'll get some fertilization off of this field, which is better than nothing for crops that need it. And then we'll also get a cultivator that goes along with it, right? Now, we did have a whole conversation about another tractor, and I was looking at this tractor, and it's not a bad deal. It's $53,000 for a medium tractor, but I'm not loving it. It's 155 horsepower, and if we do our little engine boosty over here, another 20%, that gives us a total of, 186 horsepower for $100,000. But if you look in the medium tractors, we can pick up this Unimog over here, which will give us on base 240 horsepower. If we buff the engine to 20%, oh my God. That gives us 288 horsepower on this one for $97,000, right? So the other thing is that this comes with the agricultural platform, which is just a flatbed, right? If we take the sidewalls off, then it's just a big platform. If we leave them on, then it's 2,200 liters of bulk storage, or we could bump it up to 6,500, which in certain situations would be great, right? Particularly, harvesting. Most of the smaller harvesters only hold about 8,000 liters, so this would prevent us from needing a bucket. But 6,500 liters is not enough, and frankly, I think that the agricultural platform with no sidewalls, because we're doing pallets, is handier. Now, I believe this can only hold 8 pallets, but better than nothing. So I do think we are going to buy this tractor, and we're going to go ahead and buy it so that we can have 2 tractors and put one on a worker while we're still doing stuff with the other one. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put the new cultivating on the Dutes, and we'll do that. And then I think if I can stop crashing into everything, I think that what we're going to do is we're going to take the Unimog, and we're going to do some deliveries and stuff. We're going to fill up, we're going to do chores. We're going to fill up our water buckets, and we're going to sell off whatever's available at the moment. And maybe we can get some animals in this episode. That would be awesome if we could start the animals and get the pigs going, because it's going to take some time for them to build up enough of everything to make a difference there. And we're also going to need to turn on the barley on the grain doodads. So right now we're just filling up the cedar, this cedar here. Oh yeah. I also bought, I forgot I bought a front weight for that planter there. That was the planter that we bought. We replaced the little crappy one that we bought, which was so dumb. I don't know why we wasted our money on that. But we started with this one. Let me just sort this. I have to do this every time. We started with this one. 4 meters. And it worked fine. It worked fine. It didn't work fine. It worked fine for this field. It did not work at all for this field over here. As soon as we got onto this field and started getting up into this stuff here, it was a real problem. It worked okay for this first couple of lines on this side. It worked great. But as soon as we got up onto this incline, which as you can see is not the worst, but it is inclined, it was an absolute poop show. And this thing, the tractor could barely drag itself up to this top of this with the new planter on. So I think it was just too heavy. The tractor had enough horsepower, but it was just too heavy to do that. So we ended up doing we slept for a night after we finished that field, which was painful. Yeah, okay. So let's go grab the Unimog. And, ooh, this thing goes 55 miles an hour. What the heck? Okay. We're going to have to be careful with this. Whoa. I've used these Unimogs quite a bit before, but honestly, I don't really use them as farming implements. I usually use them as just trucks, right? But, you know, this one's a little different. We're going to need to do that. Oh, shit. Well, I don't know if we need to roll oil seed, but we'll find out. Wow. Okay. Hopefully this is not indicative of me driving this around. Maybe it is. We'll see. Maybe I just drive this thing into everything. Does this have a 3-point hitch on it? I hope so. It's going to suck if it doesn't. I thought it had a front hitch. Does it have a front? Yes, it does have a front 3-point. Okay. Alright, let's go and fill these up. And I can't forget that the canola oil factory also needs water. So let's not forget that. What else happened? I don't think anything else happened. I mean, a lot of stuff happened. I'm not happy that we lost episode 3. I mean, obviously I've got it recorded. It's on the drive, but there is no audio. I was thinking about making the whole thing a time lapse without any talking. That sounds unpleasant. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what you guys have to say. In the meantime, we're just going to keep on trucking. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. All adults will survive. We can gauge what happened here. That's full. Okay. Alright, now we just got to fill up this factory here and drop this tanker off. Let's go and see what we got in everything. Alright, let's see what we got. 100,000 in pig food. Of course, we can't really sell that. So we really only have about $20,000 worth of stuff, which is not worth going through the effort of selling it right now. So we'll just leave all this stuff here. And let's go check out the Dutes. What's happening over there. And here we go. Oh, the flexi thing he calls it. Sorry, the flexi thing. So we're getting this put in. Let's see, is this going to need rolling? Do we need to roll oilseed radish? I guess not. Okay, cool. Well, there's something. So we have $77,000. Is that enough to buy anything? I don't think that's enough. What are our animal pens? Pigs. Now we need... Whoa. 16. 109. 32, 25. All right, this holds 275. That's not enough. I need, how many do I need? I need about 600. 275. I mean, yeah, I can customize the field. I prefer not to, though. Wow, that holds 2 million liters of everything, but only 16 pigs. I don't want, I could put this one down, but I don't want 1,000 pigs. I don't know if I can keep up with the food for 1,000 pigs, and I'd rather them not starve. We're not supposed to sell the pigs. We're not supposed to sell animals on this challenge because they're not in pallets. So once you buy them, we're kind of stuck with them, and that's fine. My intention was to keep them forever until they die, right? And then they'll replace themselves. When we hit the cap, that'll be it. So I wanted one that's got a cap, which is why I think I picked this one. But it's $164,000. Man, that's a lot. And I'm going to turn this around so this stuff is in here, but it's going to make this little weird thing. So I'm going to bump this over here so that I can still get in with the trailer to drop off the pig food. And we don't have to be compact, right? We have all this space. We own this field, so it's not a big deal. But so I need 2 of these. Well, that's $330,000. Yeah. I don't love that. I could have sworn I found one that held 500. What I want is one that holds 500. Yeah, see, that one holds 500. That's sheep. Of course, I don't want that. You know what? Hold on. Let me go see if I can find a thing. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. I found a, well, I didn't find exactly what I wanted, but I found something that I think we can use. Let's find it. This one here. Oh, 460. Huh. I think I'm missing something here. Yeah. One of my one of the mods is supposed to put a pig shed in here that's holds 400 pigs, and it's not this one. Anyway, this one's $364,000, which is the price of the 2 of the other ones that we already have. So that's not helpful to me, per se. But it does hold enough pigs, and there's no outside. So it's just this big plop it down, and there you go. I think, is that the input there? I guess that's the input side. Is that correct? Oh, can't see. Too close. Yeah, that looks like an input. I don't see anything else anywhere else, just that. Yeah. But we can't afford that anyway, so let's get out of that one. Oh, you can put solar panels on this one too for probably $6 billion. Red roof with solar for $50,000. I mean, I would still do it. On this challenge, I would do it. I need to figure out that sitch with the mod. I'm not sure what's happening there. It's the open shed or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we're almost done planting our oilseed radish on this field, which should give us more fertility than we currently have, I think. We are currently at, what? No fertility. So when we plow under the oilseed, we'll be at 50%. So we'll cultivate, this field in a month. We're going to sleep. We'll cultivate and then get the planter going on the sunflowers. Yeah. Sorry about that. Somebody sent me a text message. The wife sent a text, and I, responded because I'm a good guy. Anywho, yeah. So we just got to get this finished up. I think this is the last pass. And then I think we're good. All right, guys. So now we got that field done. Now, we don't really have anything to do, I don't think, until harvest of the next fields. I don't think there's anything... Yeah, there's nothing to do on this field. We're not putting lime in. So yeah, it's just take it back. Drop it off, and then we will I guess sleep for a couple of months. Before we do that, let's go... Yeah. Let us go and take a look. We still need a trailer, a tipper. I mean, I guess in the meantime, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just reconfigure the... We'll just reconfigure the Unimog when we need... yeah. We'll just reconfigure the Unimog when we need a bucket. But anyway, what I wanted to do was I wanted to check how much capacity these things have. All right, let's take a look. Grain and curry. So we need stuff for the chickens. We could probably get chickens, but we don't really need chickens until we have wheat. So let's turn on barley, and that'll hold 100,000. So we're good there. We'll turn that on. So that'll just use more water right now. More water. We'll turn those back on, and they're just going to store it, right? And we'll just keep on growing that. We do need to buy another one of these. We need 3 of the grain and kharif to keep the 2 soybean factories running. And we have some soybean oil right there, so I'm going to just snag that. That's worth $4,000. And I think I'd rather have it in cash than sitting there on the ground. Maybe we'll go and we'll clean everything out. Let's see what's in the farm factory. We got some canola. Pig food, of course, can't do anything about that. We got some preserved carrots. Some parsnips. Sunflower oil. And that's that. So we'll grab this if we can. I think we should be able to get one more on there. Ah. Well, we'll just do it ourselves. Interesting collisions there today. I don't know if that's new. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before, but they're all giving me the stink eye, I guess, because they're not full, even though they're taking up the space for them. Does that all happen all the time? Put it in the comments. Curious to know if that happens to you guys. I don't think I've noticed that before, but we'll see. All right, a cool 28 grand, almost 29, not bad. Still not enough money to get the pigs. I mean, we can get the chickens, but I need pigs before I need chickens, because I need that fertilizer. Let me move this out of the way. This is irritating me. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Alright, well, so much for that. So I can put it on the front, but I can't put it on the back, huh? Is there an option for that? We'll have to pop out and take a look. Oh, back 3-point hitch, yes. It's an extra 5 grand. All right, so we'll pay for that. Because kind of important. All right. Now we're a proper tractor. Okay. All right. So that's full. That's done. I guess I can. You know what? I'll do that again. I'll pop out. We'll reconfigure this as this thing, and we'll empty out the salt while this is going. So I think in the meantime, I feel like we're going to wrap this up. This is a little bit of a shorter episode, although I don't think it's actually going to be shorter. But there's nothing else to do. We're going to do a couple of sleeps, and we will start the next episode when it's time to harvest that field over there. So, thanks for watching. I hope you guys, enjoyed the episode today. A little bit of a shorter one for me. But yeah, we're making progress. And I think that, yeah, see, we got a spot mapped out here for dumping our salt. So just use this as our salt dumping area. Can I dump this thing here? Unload here. Control I. Do it. There we go. All right. There you go. You saw it. Gotta move a little bit. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.